Welcome to second episode of Ideas Exchange, where we delve into ideas that change the world and all things manufacturing. Are you amazed at how certain machines operate? Who invented them? Who used them? What keeps them going? Today we are going to have some real talk about motors, machines, what makes them click, and what are some of these innovations that have revolutionized the future of electric motors. Today we introduce Mr. Devesh Upadhyay, Director of Hardai Armd Engineering Solutions. Hi, Mr. Devesh. It was wonderful to be acquainted with your team. So, you're
Hello.
an engineering expert, to say the least, right? And you have a vision to provide innovative and sustainable solutions to ensure greener practices across industries. Tell us a little bit more
Yeah,
about your journey and how did you start?
I'm a machine enthusiast from start, and starting from a very first vision of mine is to develop technology and to implement it specifically for India.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Deshbhakt by heart,
Okay.
and I want to implement all my knowledge and efforts for India.
Right.
Starting from my graduation, I'm a
Hmm.
MTech robotics in mechanical engineering
Hmm.
from SRM University. And after that, I've been appointed as a project engineer in Non-Ferrous Material Technology Development Center. It's under Ministry of Mines in
Right.
Hyderabad.
Right.
And there I have come across many projects.
Hmm.
Now, those projects were specifically oriented on machine designs and machine manufacturings.
Right.
Now, the common problem for these machines were the lubrication problem. The machines were getting very hot, or it was getting wear and tear, and it was failing
Right.
at an unpredictable point.
Right.
So at this point, my mind started to think that we should revolutionize this lubricant thing into
Hmm.
machine. What if we can eliminate oil and grease?
Okay.
So if
That,
we eliminate
that's a
oil and
bold
grease,
mission.
yeah,
Right.
if we eliminated oil and grease, two major problem will be solved.
Hmm.
The first is, if you are not using oil and grease, you are not wasting it.
Correct.
So anyway, your lubricant wastage are have come down, right?
Correct.
Second thing is your maintenance cost, downtimes, machine life, and these things will increase.
Right.
Now, how to do that?
Correct. Isn't that
I've,
isn't
I've,
that the most
I've had
important question?
it. Now, how
Correct.
to do that? So, I'm very lucky that my father, Dr. Ramphal Sharma, he's a scientist and he's been into material science research since 40 years.
Okay.
And by his research and some of the engineering inputs of mine, we have clubbed together, uh, as we call it, science and technology,
Right.
right? Science of my father and technology of mine by innovating a compound which is known as molybdenum disulfide dry lubricant.
Right.
It's a dry lubricant. Okay, like grease and oil is a wet lubricant.
Correct.
It is a dry lubricant. So basic mechanism is you need to prepare a film between metal to metal. That film will lubricate it.
Hmm.
There will be a barrier.
Right.
So in any lubricant mechanism, there should be a barrier who should not make friction and heat up the machine.
Correct.
In oil and grease, the thickness of the barrier may increase, decrease, or squeeze off.
Correct.
But if we prepared an infinite barrier which is at constant thickness throughout the operation of the machine, problem is solved.
So, pardon me, although I am an engineering graduate and I learned a little bit of physics and chemistry, and my understanding of this is very rudimentary, but isn't this infinite coefficient that you're talking about, isn't that a theoretical concept? Is it actually practically achievable?
In most of the machines, or what we call it ideal machines,
Right.
coefficient of friction never comes down to zero.
Correct.
We need lesser coefficient of friction or an optimistic value
Correct.
so that whatever bearable limit of our machine is there, we
Right.
should run at under the operating condition.
Right.
So there's nothing like zero friction or anything,
Right.
right? Ideally, it is not possible, but you can minimize it at an extent of microns and nanos. That becomes negligible.
That becomes negligible. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
becomes negligible. So you can just term it as zero friction. So, starting from 2014, we started the research,
Okay.
and first we had a common small problem like whole world is facing is battery problem.
Correct.
The batteries are failing. Why they are
Correct.
failing? Because they are getting heated up.
Correct.
People are using coolants, oils, heat sinks for reducing the battery heat. What we did is we invented a compound. Later on, we patented it. We manufactured that compound ourselves, and we use that compound in the battery. So a basic coating on the battery surface. Now that battery is not heating up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's because of a very basic mechanism. That compound is a nano compound.
Right.
And in nanotechnology, there is a small concept which is known as surface to volume ratio.
Correct.
If you have a small radius, you'll be having a higher surface area.
Correct.
In mechanical engineering, also small grain size, tougher the metal.
Correct.
So we developed a nano compound which is having higher surface area, and that surface area is absorbing or transmitting the heat, right? And that surface area is trying to accommodate all the heat energy which was damaging the part, but now due to this nano compound, it is not damaging.
Wow. That that is really piquing my interest. Like, is have you guys commercialized this? Like, why don't you have Olas of the world and Bhavesh Guptas of the world lining up to your doorstep to take this? Because like, and since you've been in Hyderabad, like Hyderabad weather is crazy in summers, right? It goes up to 45, 46 degrees Celsius and batteries keep bursting here and there. Like, is this commercialized? I want to know. This sounds like a very promising solution to a very pertinent problem out there.
Yes, to give just give you a spoiler, we have commercialized it, and we have served some of the companies on about that compound. Anyway, I had a vision of solving this lubricant thing.
Correct.
Later on in the study, we came to know that we can use this compound in a lubricant also.
Right.
And starting from 2014 till 2021, when we registered our company,
Hmm.
we have developed a fully functional nano dry lubricant compound which can be coated on any metal surface, and that is 100% made in India.
That's wonderful.
Now, we are the only one company who manufactures molybdenum disulfide dry lubricant 100% in India. And we have tested it. Our major problem of heating and coefficient of friction was solved
Right.
by working 3-4 years, I guess.
Right.
Then later on, we identified that we should have a common product, the product which is facing lubricant problem. So that is bearings.
Right.
So we coat this compound on bearing, and we have launched our product named as molecule spin.
Molecule spin. Okay.
Not molecule, it is molecule. So mol
Molecule.
is molybdenum, kul is the family of
Ah,
molybdenum.
understood. Molecule.
Yeah, so
That's
molecule.
pretty cool.
So it's a desi name.
Yeah, yeah.
So molecule spin is our hero product by which we are coating on different parts of the bearing
Right.
as per application. So far, we have served many of our customer, and after a certain expo like Hyderabad International Machine Tool Expo, we have got a good inquiries and we are supplying to them. Hopefully. So the thing is that this particular compound was manufactured out of India with different methods actually.
Right.
PVD, CVD method, and they are very costly method.
Right.
By that cost, you will be not able to coat any of the components in high volume. Now, since this compound is very costly outside India, second problem is it is almost impossible to coat it in high volume.
Right.
If coated in small volume also, they need to invest cost in fixtures, in jigs, in the complete setup of
Right.
PVD and CVD,
Right.
and it's a lot of investment for that compound. By our method, we have reduced the cost, we have a high volume capacity, and we can coat it at any complex thing. And not only at the outer surface, we can coat it in inner surface also.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So by all these developments, we have launched our product, Molecule Spin, and ready to serve for Indian market for now. Launched our product, and currently we are supplying to some of the defense company, some of the automotives company, and some of the manufacturing industry.
Right.
So this was the journey of the compound actually.
So from journey of compound to journey of Devesh, we were actually on journey of Devesh, right? And I actually want to delve into it. Like you started talking about your passion and how you pursued, along with your father, how you brought science and technology together. So what got the project engineer finally interested in? Okay, the product is ready. Let me just go full time into this. Like entrepreneurship is challenging, especially in a sector like manufacturing, right? What made you decide that, okay, I am ready to take the plunge?
Actually, as I mentioned, I was in NFTDC Hyderabad. The training what I was given, that was very harsh training actually.
Uh-huh.
So suppose if I'm making any machine design or anything, I used to be scolded by my senior authorities. Not even a small mistake was acceptable of mine.
Right.
That kind of training I was given in
Right.
PDC. And by that training, I learned a lot,
Right.
many things in machine design and machine manufacturing. Later on, I just told my director that we should start building our own machines. By nature, I am kind of a guy that I don't want to be dependent on anyone.
Hmm.
I want to serve it myself, at least first for me. So I started building small projects like robots and these things for myself. And I
Right.
started working there.
Right.
Later on, it get adopted in their machine.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I thought that if I can do like this, then I should earn it for myself also.
That's true. Yeah.
So now I have science and technology. I have a vision, right? And I have enthusiasm. Now, again, the training part, my father, he just said one sentence that let's start a business.
Right.
But that spark in life was missing. Like I want to work for myself. I want to construct machines for myself.
Right.
I don't want to be dependent.
Right.
So if I'm making machine for myself, I can sell it also.
Correct.
I think for me, entrepreneurship is first serving yourself. If you are satisfied, then you can serve the market.
That makes sense. Actually, Devesh, let me ask you a question, right? So, having understood a little bit about your journey, about why you got into entrepreneurship, about your passion for the science and technology behind this, and when you started to sort of get into this full time and when you actually plunged into this, did you face some challenges as a manufacturer, right? Uh, Although the whole ecosystem today, in terms of public administration support, Make in India initiatives, etc., is trying to come together, and we'll get to that in a bit. But did you face some challenges in terms of finding suppliers, not knowing who to talk, how to sell some of these products, how to network with people? You mentioned one industrial expo. How good or bad have these industrial expos been for you? How was your experience when you went there? Tell us a little bit about some of those struggles that you faced.
As an entrepreneur, you have to face a lot of problems. When you think entrepreneurship, there only the problem starts. It's that talking to people, finding suppliers, finding customers, marketing, going into expos, talking to someone who you don't know and you want to sell your product. I think these are not hurdles actually. It's a process of entrepreneurship. I think the hurdle is only one thing for
Hmm.
any entrepreneur or any big company also.
Hmm.
It's the psychology.
Right.
You have to nourish your psychology, right, in such a way that you have to, you have to shape yourself. If I'm going to an expo and I'm a single guy, I have two teammates, and there are a lot of competitors. They have a good big booths,
Correct.
they have a good logo, and they have a good taglines. Like in competition of your tagline, you're just rethinking of that tagline and thinking, yeah, am I delivering a good message from my
Yeah.
tagline?
Yeah.
So that
Right.
comparison thing is lot of there. There's a lot of comparison thing between your competitors and all.
Correct.
This thing can only be solved by psychology. You just believe in yourself that whatever you are delivering it by your tagline, by your product, by your saying, by your words, by your expressions, whatever you are delivering it, you
Hmm.
just deliver it.
Yeah, that's an interesting take because we also kind of try to address this. What it's interesting that we are talking about industrial expos because what we also realized is before we actually launched Ideas Meet, we covered almost 15, 20 industrial expos across a span of 7, 8 months. We did voice of consumer. We spoke to people like you. We spoke to a lot of manufacturers. We spoke to a lot of visitors and exhibitors, both at these expos, to realize that okay, what's happening here? Why are you here? Despite being here, is there something that you're missing out on? What do you take away after you come to an expo like this? As an exhibitor, you're spending money. And like you said, there are a lot of people who have this fear and anxiety that this person's booth is bigger than mine. Is my tagline better or is his tagline better? Is the person who is visiting this expo only going to decide whether I am the right supplier for this product? Is because of the logo, is because of the tagline, is because of the kind of people that are sitting at the booth. And we realize that, oh, you know what? In this, we are actually missing out innovations. We are missing out the real ideas.
Yes.
We are not able to showcase what actually should be at the center of attention. Ideas, innovation, science, technology, engineering, which is the backbone of this entire manufacturing industry. That's how the industry has survived for the past so many decades. That somehow is getting lost out. Nobody's talking about that. And I get it. Like there is physical constraint in terms of space. There is that much you can do. Everybody wants a piece of the action, and nobody's to be blamed. But that's how the industry has been. And while you rightly pointed out the entrepreneurial mindset or entrepreneurial psychology, we tried to attack it from a technology standpoint. And we thought that, okay, what if everybody who has a great idea and everybody who has a fantastic innovation is not able to put up a stall at an industrial expo, which, by the way, happens once in 2 years? Why would anybody want to wait 2 years to showcase an innovation, right? Like you said, you had a breakthrough
Yes.
moment in 2021. What if there was no industrial expo to showcase that? With that
Yes.
mindset, we came up with Ideas Meet and we thought that, okay, let's create a digital community of manufacturers where finding suppliers, finding customers, promoting ideas, innovations, products, getting the whole ecosystem working for you and just unleashing the power of collaboration to make it easy for manufacturers to win every day. That was the
Yes.
intent of Ideas Meet, and that's what got us started. And actually, this sparked in my head when you talked about removing friction from the process. That's pretty much the psyche that we also had. Let's try and remove some friction from this process and
Exactly.
get this going for manufacturers, because only once we come together and start collaborating is when we are actually able to unleash the power
Yes.
of this ecosystem, which works for all of us.
I've learned one thing about Indian industry, any manufacturing or any product or any trading industry. So if you want to market your product, okay, again, that entrepreneurial psychology. If you want to sell your product should be familiar to the buyer,
Right.
but it should be surprising also.
True. Yeah.
But more than that, 80% of the vision is communicated by a product.
I
And
agree.
that product is familiar to the buyer because
Familiar yet interesting.
yes,
That's
because
the combination you're talking about.
that buyer knows the application of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he will only teach you that where this product will go. Product are sold by relations and marketing tools like digital marketing, expose marketing, going door to door marketing are all relation building tools.
Agreed.
In
Absolutely.
historical thing like before 15-20 years, salespersons were appointed. They've been given a bag full of products.
Yeah.
They go door to
Yes.
door and sell it. In that case also, if that person visits periodically, so that becomes a remembrance for the buyer, then only he is able to sell the product. In
Correct.
a single go, he can't sell. In a single go, if he sells, that means the product is bought by a very needy guy. He was searching a product and then it is bought. But for a good business, you should build a relation.
Absolutely. I think Devesh, I couldn't agree more because I have seen a practical application of this, right? When we were starting out to build Ideas Meet, there were a lot of people who asked us, "Is this going to be like a marketplace? Can I buy and sell my products?"
Yeah.
And that's exactly what our response used to be. That you know what, you don't need a marketplace to sell products. Like your product will sell if there is an actual need, if you
Yeah.
actually have an innovation, and if we've been able to build relationship over a period of time. That's what Ideas Meet allows people to do, right? You come together, you connect with them, you find people, connect with the right people, partner with them, collaborate with them, build a relationship. And which is why we say that we are actually solving discoverability challenges, not marketplace challenges. The manufacturing world
Correct.
doesn't need another marketplace, but there are clearly some discoverability challenges which have not been addressed till date, and that's what we're trying to solve.
It is well communicated by Ideas Meet that what is your vision. So that's why, like I remember in Hyderabad also, I was attending a visitor. Your team member was trying to talk to me. Now I wanted to talk to your team member also, but that visitor is also important.
True,
So,
true.
so I just told my sister to attend,
Right,
and later on I sent her on the booth you were having in
right,
Hyderabad.
right,
So by that, then after I visited your website, and
right.
that vision was clear that what you want to do. That's why I wanted to talk to you to share my views, to know your views,
Right.
that things.
Perfect. So, Devesh, if I have to ask you, what about Ideas Meet Vision did you find interesting? What do you think is relevant in your context?
People only see products and services. To communicate the story of that product is really important.
Correct.
But there are a lot of product in the market, and every product have a story behind that.
Right,
Every product.
right,
Now, Ideas Meet have a good, I think they might be having a team who can scrutinize the common stories and can communicate to people.
right.
Now, that story will give the product significance. Plus, as I'm a Deshbhakt, so that should be an Indian story. And it's
True,
a fully made in India company.
true.
By that story, we establish relations. And by relations, we establish business. For me, Ideas Meet is promoting relations for business.
Yes,
Now, that relations have a basic thing is the story behind your product or business. So there should be a dedicated team who should know how it can be communicated. Saying you go on
right.
a expose, you meet people, like you said. So you have figured out the way you should communicate, and later on, of course, you will do some innovations also in these ideas to communicate it more.
Absolutely. So Devesh, I think I really want to hear from you since you've been talking about how you're passionate about making in India for India. And there is a lot of administration push with initiatives like Make in India. How do you think that has worked out for the industry? How easy or difficult was it for you to set up a business?
It's
Um, yeah,
very difficult actually.
right,
Manufacturers are now increasing,
right,
but previously the market has covered by traders
correct,
and dealers. Because of this, lot of import has been done in India,
right,
and market coverage of outside countries like China, Germany,
yeah,
Japan,
yeah,
Russia, in almost all the products
yeah,
have taken up the Indian market.
correct,
And people have a psychology, they trust technology which is outside India.
right,
Like I have faced myself when I say that this is 100% made in India, they don't bother actually.
right,
What I did is I did an experiment. I told that this technology was made in Korea. People started listening me. I don't know why. Like
right,
I'm it's all about instinctive thing of the market
right,
that they trust technology outside India.
right,
And a lot of people who have told on my face that Indian technologies are not good. You should import it, and they have told that if your technology is so great, why you're selling in India? You sell
right,
outside India, you will get
right,
more business.
right,
You make a product and tag it with a name which is outside India. Tag it with the company which is outside India.
yeah,
So this is a problem in tier 3 which covers about 65% of the Indian market.
Right.
Companies like Ideazmeet, Hardai Armd, I think they still have struggles to do to crack that tier three Indian market. It can be done. It is not like I'm not saying it is not possible. It is fully possible. It is just about relations and gaining trust of Indian
Right.
market. Many
Right.
people have started adopting Indian products also.
Correct.
Like
That's
my
true.
clients only, like I have some clients, I used to make machines also, special purpose machines for the clients.
Right.
Like if you have a standard product like bearing, people used to trust outside India.
Correct.
But now the things are changing in manufacturing sector, because
Yeah.
in manufacturing and customized machines, it is easy to communicate in local language.
Correct.
Now that communication gives the precision of making the parts.
Right.
We can observe this change of 100% make in India in manufacturing market because of the communication thing.
Correct.
It's easy to communicate in local country. If communication is well done, the precision of making machines also increases. If we see a booming customized machine manufacturing, Indian market will take place at a higher scale. What I
Right.
feel.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I agree with that. Let's go in a little different direction. Do you think manufacturing is becoming cool? What will it take for a young college kid to make a career in manufacturing today?
If you talk about students, actually, there are a lot of to be done in infrastructure of colleges actually.
Right.
So if someone is thinking manufacturing career, and if they are practicing the old way of manufacturing, Sir Ratan Tata also, he has given a small speech, and in that speech he told that India is a place where if anyone wants to innovate something in manufacturing or a shop floor, so the seniors who are authorities and who are the guide of the person, they used to say that you should gain some experience on a shop floor and then you should speak.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
this kind of mentality should be changed starting from the college time,
Right.
and innovation will come. Manufacturing in India is like your question, is manufacturing in India cool, or it's growing? I think it is growing, but in a steady state. If you deep dive in the story behind it, then you may identify. But currently, it is going on a very a very less pace.
Right.
Currently, see, people are adopting from outside technology.
Correct.
So this is the thing. Some movies have taken stories from outside India,
Right.
some French movie or some English movie. See, Gujarat is a big market. So now
Right.
Gujarat, I've lived in Gujarat. Gujarat, they have opened a company who used to import all these Japanese part and sell it in 10, 15 rupees to Indian market.
Right.
People are buying it because it is cheap. Problems are getting solved.
Right.
So why will they rely on Indian manufacturing?
True.
So it's all about psychology.
Right.
You can find manufacturing growth in India uh, today also, but in a very small pace.
Yeah. This we are actually waiting for that hockey stick boom to happen, which at least I believe is just around the corner. And it's all about, like you said, it's about mindset, it's about psychology, it's about bringing science and technology together, like you started, right? So there is science in manufacturing, and we are trying to play the technology enablement role here. So yeah, let's hope this moves in the right direction, and we are confident that with companies such as yourselves, like who have a vision of bringing science and technology to the grassroots level and bringing out products and solutions that actually impact industries and coming up with specific solutions for specific problems based on science and technology, which is actually the bedrock of innovation. At Ideas Meet, we believe that it is companies such as Hardai Armnd Engineering Solutions who will actually change the world as we know it, and will actually put Indian manufacturing on the map where it truly belongs. On that note, Devesh, I think we had a wonderful time chatting up. Thank you so much for talking about your journey, for talking about Hardai, how it started, where it is headed. I think a lot of our viewers will find this inspiring, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Sure, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Devesh.